Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm actually in London right now, and I am absolutely loving it. The only caveat is that I am freezing. This really is the only opportunity that I get to wear a whole ton of black, and I sort of miss wearing black, so I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, it's super cold here, and it just started raining again. But I don't know, like, you have to love every city for what it is. So what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today is what I'm calling the look for less. So these are designer pieces from past collections that are very similar in many ways to current season pieces. So as many of you are aware, I work for a consignment boutique, and we take in merchandise normally from previous seasons that people are intending to sell. And what I find is that a lot of the designers will recycle older looks and older designs and create them into something new and current. So in this video I'm going to be steering you towards a bunch of different pieces that are very similar to current collection pieces that you are now able to find for much less money. Also, if you're new, hello and welcome. My name's Catherine and my channel is KWSHOPS. I do videos all about luxury fashion and shopping tips and ways to save money on your splurges. So if those things interest you and you'd like to see more, please hit the subscribe button down below so you can check out my new videos that I do every week. All of these items are, as I mentioned, from previous seasons, so you may only be able to find them pre-owned. And I will link several trusted resources down below, as well as the names and style numbers of anything that I can find. So since I work for the consignment boutique and we take in merchandise from previous seasons, I get to see things that maybe were from 5 or 6 years ago that like were the grandmother of the new piece from today. So the first one is one that I have mentioned in one of my more recent previous videos, and that is sort of a dupe for the Gucci Marmont we've worn as a belt bag. I'll leave a link to that video down below where I show you how I use my Louboutin mini pochette as well as canvas strap to create the same look. So I will leave a link to the video where I show you how to do that down below, as well as those two pieces. And all in all, going this route while not even necessarily needing to go pre-loved or dig through the previous seasons, you are able to save about $300, and I think the pieces are much more versatile than the Marmont Super Mini. So the next piece that I'm going to mention is the Gucci belts. Now, I'm not a very big belt person, and logo belt buckles I just don't feel like are very me. So I was able to find this on the pre-loved market, and I actually happen to have it with me. Yeah, my apologies. I didn't bring most of my wardrobe with me to London, so I'm just going to have to insert pictures of everything, so sorry about that. I did actually happen to bring this piece right here, and this is the Gucci web belt. Now, I'm not sure exactly how old this piece is. Like, this is what it looks like here. Mine just has the green and red stripe, and it does have the Gucci inscription here on the buckle right here. It just opens up like that. It's completely adjustable, and I most of the time wear it on my waist. For me, this belt was a much better option than trying to find the Marmont for a number of reasons. I don't really wear belts, as I mentioned in previous videos. They're just a little bit more of a hassle to get on and off than I really care to live with. And this one is super easy. Also, I find that this buckle is a lot more understated than having the large G's. While I do love that look on other people, it isn't necessarily for me. Being able to have the same look of the red and green stripes without all of the big G's everywhere, I really appreciate that. And also, most of the time on the pre-loved market, these go for not very expensive. Ever since the Marmont belts have increased in popularity, the prices of these have gone up slightly, but you can still definitely find them around the $150 to $200 mark, and sometimes even much less than that, depending on where you look. So I will try to find as many of these and other similar belts that I can, but just know that Gucci has been making belts since at least the 70s. So there's plenty of vintage and previous collection styles out there, and a lot of them are going to be much less expensive. They've been easier to find than some of the current styles in the store. This next piece here I'm going to talk about are, a dupe for the Balenciaga sneakers. Now, these are technically a dupe. They are very, very similar in design, and they definitely were, I would say, copied from Balenciaga, but they are one of my most recent purchases. They are these white sneakers here from Ash. I have been wearing them, so they probably are a little bit dirty and you won't be able to see that because of these lights. But yes, so these are the Ash. These are called the Lacey Sneakers. I got them in a size 39, and if you compare these, you can see that if you compare these to the Balenciaga sneaker, you know, with the elastic across the toe and everything like that, they're quite similar, and the price point on them is, you know, very, very different. These are still not cheap, I wouldn't say. I think I bought these from Nordstrom Rack, or no. I bought these from the Bloomingdale's outlet for maybe like $120, as opposed to the Balenciaga version, which are I want to say between $500 and $700. These are my third pair of Ash sneakers, and I absolutely love them. So Ash is definitely my go-to brand for sneakers, and that's sort of my max in what I will spend on a flat shoe is $120, $150. So that's one option that I will leave links to down below, and these don't even necessarily have to be pre-owned, and they're definitely in, you know, a different set of categories from the rest of the pieces, but I really did just want to mention that as an option when you're looking for a dupe for designer pieces. So the next one is, you know, a really, really obvious one. This is the Gucci Obsidia bag or collection. These bags are, you know, dead ringers for vintage styles from the late 80s, early 90s, and I actually bought one that's similar on eBay a couple of months ago. So these bags retail at, I want to say close to, I don't have prices or anything in front of me, and this Wi-Fi is a little bit spotty, so I can't just look everything up, so we'll have prices down below, hopefully. These bags are current collections, and they are dead ringers for, you know, vintage bags from the late 80s and early 90s. You are able to find these style of bags in sometimes not the greatest condition, but pretty decent condition, for under $200. So in my opinion, if you do want that look, I would go the vintage route, and maybe, you know, you may have to end up cleaning some up a little bit, but just in general, it's worth it for me to save the money. You can find them definitely under $200, and from places like eBay and Vestiaire. Generally under $200, but some of them may be more if they're in better condition. I bought one that's not necessarily as similar in the same collection. Mine's navy blue, but I bought one for about $100 on eBay from a Japanese seller. So the next one is another bag that I do own. I don't have it with me, so I'll just have to insert a photo right here. This is the Tom Ford Mini Jennifer bag, and in my opinion, this bag is so similar to a couple of the Chloe bags, namely the Nile. I know the Nile bag is known for the bracelet handle detail, but if you actually look at the shape of the two bags, I find them very, very similar. They sort of are, you know, like rounded, and they get bigger towards the bottom. The fact that I own the Tom Ford Mini Jennifer has really, you know, taken a lot of the Chloe bags out of the ringer. I find a couple of them to be too similar to add to my collection, just simply because I do own that one and it does check off enough of the boxes. So it's not exact like 100% spot on, but I find it similar enough to sort of get away with it. So if you do buy this bag new, yes, of course, I think it retails at like close to $2,000, but if you find some on the resale market, then I think I paid about $900 or so for mine. I absolutely love it. I think it's one of my favorite bags in my collection, and it's one that I use all the time, and it really stops me from shopping for other bags just simply because I find it so similar to a lot of the current ones. So I am back. I was interrupted a little bit. It has been a few days since I filmed the last portion, and we leave tomorrow, unfortunately, so I was dying to like finish this video, you know, while I still had this beautiful like sunroom, I guess is what this is called. The next bag that I wanted to talk about is the Louboutin Pochette Metis. Yeah, so this bag has been hugely popular for the last 2 years or so, and it has actually been very, very hard to come by if you are trying to search for it and find it in the store. So the original design of this, in my opinion, I would say is based off of another bag that came out in the early 90s. I'm going to show a picture of it right here. It's called the Louboutin Monceau bag, and they made it in monogram canvas as well as epi leathers. So far as I've seen. I was very lucky in that I went to a designer consignment boutique, and I actually found the Louis Vuitton Monceau, and in near perfect condition. This bag was from 1993, and it, in my opinion, is like the spitting image, or like the original inspiration for the Louis Vuitton Pochette Metis. So these bags are not difficult to find on places like eBay, although since they are over 20 years old, you will have to take into account that a lot of them may not be in the best condition necessarily. You can find them, I would say generally speaking, I would expect to pay around in the neighborhood of $500 for them, you know, give or take about 20%. That one is a great piece. It has a detachable strap and as well as a top handle. What makes it most similar to the Pochette Metis, in my opinion, is the classic push lock. And in my opinion, this one is a great dupe for the Pochette Metis. So now the next one is also another dupe for the Pochette Metis. In the last year or so, Louis Vuitton released the Pochette Metis in the empreinte leather. I've seen it in pink and red and black and navy, like maybe marine rouge. But this is actually a bag that we got into work not too long ago, and unfortunately by the time this video is going out, the bag has sold. They sold really quickly because I kept telling everyone that it looked exactly like the Pochette Metis. So this bag is called the Louis Vuitton Fascinante, and I hope I didn't butcher the pronunciation of that, and if I did, I apologize. But this is what it looks like right here. I actually was able to get video footage of it, so I'm gonna insert it here right now. We have now had this bag in about 4 colors. I think the one that I have video of here is the fuchsia empreinte, if I'm not mistaken, but we also had it in red and white and in like a dark purple. This bag, in my opinion, I actually prefer this bag to the Pochette Metis in the empreinte. I think it's a lot more elegant. I think that the Pochette Metis looks very looks a bit more casual and everyday, and I think it's great for that type of setting. But you know, carrying it as an evening bag is not necessarily, it wouldn't necessarily be the one that I would reach for. However, the Fascinante, as you can see, it opens up and has similar compartments on the inside. It's pretty much like the shrunken Matisse without the handle on top, and again using the same turn lock closure. It is a bit more day to night appropriate than the one that, you know, I'm comparing it to. Also, the price point can't be overlooked. These, from what I've seen, go for around the $1,500 mark, and they come in a number of colors. I absolutely love this bag. If you do like the Pochette Metis in the empreinte leather, then I definitely would have a look at this one. I've seen it in so many different colors. We've had it in 4, but they have, you know, there's been so many different styles and colors, and once again, I think they're not too difficult to find as well. So the next one is a dupe for the Chanel Gabrielle. And now the Gabrielle isn't necessarily my style and taste, but we did get in a Chanel bag a couple of years ago that is, in my opinion, the spitting image of the Gabrielle. It's more of a tote, but it definitely has the same style. Now these aren't going to be the easiest to find. I wasn't able to find a ton of information about it, but from what I'm going to show you a really bad picture of the one that we got here, and I apologize for the picture quality, but so this bag does have the black hard base, identical to the Gabrielle. There's also the quilted calfskin on the top, as well as the chain, the woven chain straps. The one that we got in was more of a shoulder tote as opposed to the crossbody style that is, you know, available now. It isn't going to be the easiest one to find, but it will not be nearly as expensive as trying to buy the Gabrielle in the boutique at the moment, or even on the resale market. But if you are looking for that, and if you are able to find this one, it's called the Chanel VIP tote. If I can find any more descriptors on it, then I will try my best to link them all down below. One, you can probably find it under $1,500, as opposed to the, you know, $4,000 or whatever the Gabrielle goes for new in the boutique. And next is one that you guys certainly know about. I posted my wish list video a few months ago, and I think one of the bags that I wanted the most from a few months ago was the Chanel Doble. This is what it looks like here, in case you haven't seen it. And as you can see, it's just a fabric tote with, some of them have sequin lettering that says Chanel on it, top handle with a longer shoulder shoulder strap. This bag currently retails in the boutique at $3,200. Thereabout. They also are now making it in caviar leather with studs, and I think it's beautiful, but once again, I just couldn't justify the price for myself. A few months into my search for a Doble in decent condition for a good price, I found this bag instead, and I don't currently have it with me, but I will insert a photo of it here. I'll also link the unboxing that I did for this bag down below. It's really has been one of my favorite bags for the last couple of months. So this bag was, I believe, from the 2014 Cruise collection, and it's a denim tote with the top handle and longer shoulder straps that just has the CC on it instead of having the word, like the letters of Chanel spelled out. I don't know why, but for some reason I much prefer that, having the one small logo, and on the back it's just a denim striped tote basically. And you'll see mod shots and everything in my unboxing and maybe a couple of other videos that I'll link down below. So the one that I have is a small version. There also was a larger one, and there are a number of these out on eBay at the moment that I will try to find links for. But you know, generally speaking, as far as Chanel bags go, this bag isn't incredibly expensive, and on the resale market, the Chanel Deauville is going above retail. I'm not interested right now in shopping above retail for pieces, whether they're limited edition or, you know, hard to get or not. That's just sort of not what I'm into. So I definitely am glad that I was able to find this piece, and I actually ended up liking it a lot better than the Deauville itself. Mine has more structure, so if you like structured bags and you're interested in the Doble, I would definitely steer you towards my bag. So the last one I'm going to be talking to you guys about today is the Hermes Kelly, and the Hermes Kelly has been around since the 1950s, so it is no surprise that there will be a ton of different takes and styles on that bag. It's a very classic, very ladylike shape that has, you know, obviously been around for decades. So there's a million different bags that I can show you that are, you know, similar in style to that, as well as a new bag that Chanel makes, and it's called the Coco Handle. I'm going to be showing you two bags that, in my opinion, are very similar to them, to both of these bags. The first one is another one that I own, but I did not bring with me on this trip, and that is my Balenciaga Ladis. I have it in black marble leather. Mine is the larger size with the zip entrance, with these zippered entrance. It's called the Zip Cartable in the, I think it's like the medium size or the large size or something like that. You know, the colorway of mine is a little bit harder to find. I haven't seen very many out of it online, but I will link many others down below. So I have seen the Hermes Kelly in I think about the like 35 size, and when I wear that bag it is very, very similar in shape and style, only in my opinion I like it a lot better because it's easier for me to get in and out of. I, at this point in my life, am not, you know, hopping onto the Hermes train just yet. I think that the opening and the closure is very, very fussy. You can't really omit the part about the huge price tags that are attached to that bag. So, you know, now that I have that bag and it really is one of my favorites in my entire collection, I do think that I've sort of wet my whistle for the Kelly. I feel like I already have something that I love that's super similar, and that bag, you know, I think I find online about, you know, from 1,000 to 1,500 depending on condition. So if you love the look of the Kelly but are, you know, worried about being able to get in and out of it easily, then I would definitely steer you towards this one. It's not currently part of Balenciaga's collection anymore, but it really is one of my favorite bags. So also the Coco Handle, which is very, very, very similar in my opinion to the Hermes Kelly. It does have a little bit different of, like, you know, inside closure, but you know, it's like the same style as the vintage ladylike bags from, you know, back in the day. So there were many vintage designers that did almost identical styles to that, and there's one that we have at work right now. Again, I'm gonna do my best to make sure this video goes up in time so that this bag is still available by the time the video goes up, but I will put it in the description box down below whether or not the bag is available. If it is, then you can contact me if you'd like to purchase it, but this is a Versace quilted handle bag that I think is just so beautiful and so similar to the Chanel Coco Handle. The price tag on the Coco Handle for me is just not even something I could even possibly consider. But with the Versace, I think we have it around $500 or $600, just because it's a vintage piece from probably the mid-90s. But if you look around out there, there are a million other vintage designer bags that are great quality that have a similar silhouette to the Chanel Coco handle. For me, if I like a style, it doesn't necessarily have to be the designer. I just really like the style. Okay, so I think that was about 10 or 11 different bags and different designer dupes for them. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope that you are able to find a couple of different types of pieces that are still on trend. I found that right now the trends are really going towards the late 80s, early 90s sort of era. And while, you know, a lot of the looks aren't necessarily my favorite, I do think that there's a lot out there that's really cool. And if you are able to find a vintage piece that has a little bit of history to it, or is just a lot or is just a lot less expensive, then I think that's great. So there will be links to as many types of pieces that I can find in the description box down below. And please comment down below if you have anything, or if you have your eye on anything that is super similar to a popular bag from today. So subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you like it and would like to see more videos like this. I guess that's all I have for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!